Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, profit takers, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome. And I'm so excited that you're here. Today, I know it's a little later than normal, but I've been 5 days now post op. So I'm hanging in there, trying to work on getting back stronger and healing and all that good stuff. But without any further ado, let's just get to the charts. Enough about me. All right, I'm doing all right. Okay, so let's hop on over there. And let's look at some of these pairs that I've been looking at for this week, that I will be looking at for this week. So first and foremost, I had posted about gold. This is gold. I know you can't see it. I know. Can't tell what it is, but it's gold, I promise you. Let me drop down to 15 minutes. All right, so when I was initially looking at this particular pair, guys, I was like, wow, it already pushed up 3 pushes on Friday. So today I wasn't expecting anything to go long, right? But, you never really know when it comes to these markets, because we had 2 hits to the high by the time I got to the charts. And usually, that's always a dead giveaway, but sometimes, stuff happens. It don't work out, right? But we did have a low of day trade today in the session. So if you were looking at this, I did end up taking this trade low, a slow trade, what am I talking about? Slow session trade today because of this pattern that printed out quite beautifully, right? Because it ended up failing, right? The breakout to continue on short failed. And so therefore, right, I went ahead and took that one. So you just have to be ready. And it did move a little later, this 1700, so that was right at 10 o'clock. And I've noticed the timing windows are pushed out a little bit further out. So if you're starting the session 8, right? So the session is typically from 8 to like, it is really 8 to 10. And you could almost always get done with your trades by then. But, here lately, the New York session, everything's been moving like later in the New York session. So you're having to stay in the charts a little bit longer than normal, right? But some people would have scalped this thing short and would have called it a day. But for me, I was kind of trying to see. I was like, okay, it's failing this breakout, to go short. So let me just see, what's going to happen. So I stuck around and waited for it. And it finally did break, gave the pattern to go long. So if you drop down to M5, we'll probably see it a little bit more clear. Okay. So here we had that last push high, and I'm sure that's a trade that someone took earlier. I mean, you can trade whatever you want. I mean, the pattern was there for you to take it. You just do it. So once I saw that this thing closed back above, I mean, we had the engulfment. This was really the entry right here, right after that 10 o'clock hour, right? And that's if you were sticking around long enough for it, okay? But I'm here anyway, so I was sticking around for it. Now, the other pair that I was looking at, so with that being said, I mean, officially, price has closed above the open. Today, is technically a signal day for tomorrow to continue to go long. So I'm going to continue to watch this thing for tomorrow, get back in here in my timing window and execute this trade to go long. Because if we can see right now, the open range, it already pushed through the open range and we have our new high there. So I'm really happy this thing is just working out, right? We have a high there. So now we want price to interact with that in some kind of way, and give us a stop hunt low price. Now I'm going to add this channel here because this is the end of day consolidation, which I've noticed that it's very interesting, right? Start adding this to your chart, you'll start be able to see how you can also use these levels to kind of help with your bias for the day, right? Because sometimes price can get trapped inside of the end of day consolidation, and then it could reverse, or it can use it for support and continue to go long. But because again, today was, pretty much a bona fide green day signal, we are looking for day 2 tomorrow to give us a beautiful rise on up, right? That is the plan for gold. Okay. But again, like I said, if it doesn't work out, just watch what price does. Price is just another language, and we just have to learn how to speak the language of price action so that we can make money. Okay, that's all we want to do here. We want to make money. All right. So Euro Aussie, one of my other favorite pairs, guys, and this one I marked it up pretty nicely with my back testing. And I wanted to point out that 8 a.m. this particular pair has been moving, and that's like right in my window, right? I've been wanting to wake up for London and do all that jazz, but I'm like, do I really need to wake up early for London? Do I need to really be at the charts at 2 a.m. in the morning, right? Because we know it opens at 2 a.m. We know at 3 a.m. we have a stop hunt, and then at 4, it's like our 10 o'clock here in the U.S. That's when it should be trending by then, right? So we have the open, and then we have, sometimes at the open you have a reversal, and then you have your stop hunt the second hour, and the third hour you should be trending, right? Typically that's what's supposed to happen. But I noticed this last week for Euro Aussie, that wasn't the case. Like, I was able to get into this particular pair at my window, and it played out throughout the whole week. I was like, is this for real? Are y'all really gonna let me win every time at 8 o'clock in the morning? Like, is this for real? Just like the whole 3 pushes thing, right? You have your 3 pushes and you think it's going to go 4. And that's how the market makers will trick people, after that. That's why we know better than that. We know after 3 pushes, something's changing. Its price is either going to go flat and just range, or it's going to go ahead and break out trend or break out a reverse. That's all that we know that it's going to do. Okay. That's it. But I was very shocked to see that again at 8 o'clock, this thing gave me another opportunity to go ahead and win. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, guys. And this is Euro Aussie. So I'm going to keep an eye on Euro Aussie and see if it tomorrow is going to give me another opportunity to get in at 8 o'clock and win. Okay. Because that would be amazing. As you can see today, we are still in the range. So based on BTTM, we had a peak low on Friday. So today I was already looking at this, like I was looking at this as day 1, and then today is day 2, as the continuation trade. The technical, Stacy Burke calls it the parabolic trend, but it wasn't like, parabolic, like it shot up there or anything like that. But if I'm looking at it, using both methodologies, today was technically a day 2 trade to go ahead along with the trade based on how it closed on Friday. And again, we had that new peak, the new peak low on Friday. By the way, this is M30, but even if I do M15, I don't know why I like M30 to use. I love to use M30 as my higher time frame next to H1. But as you can see, guys, I marked up my charts pretty nicely. I still left the previous week's low there because we know we want price to break through that, right? Because last week it gave resistance, so this week we want this thing to break on through. Today, again, price did close above the open, so to me, we're still looking like we're going to expect another long for tomorrow. And that's what I'm looking for on this pair. Of course, it is going to pull back. It's supposed to do that. So we'll just see what happens, right? We'll see what happens and we'll interact with it. And I'm going to see if this thing is going to give me what I'm looking for at 8 o'clock. Okay. So another favorite is UJ. Now EJ. I prefer EJ over UJ. Although sometimes I will look at UJ. But EJ is absolutely one of my favorites. And, I noticed last week, as you can see, I marked like after the engulfment candle, we did get movement at 8:15. This was another one of those that's moving right when I need it to move, right in the mornings, beautiful time. Right. And so today it moved an hour later at 9:15. Right. And I don't necessarily consider this one of those pairs that I would look at for the bell, because it is a euro pair. But I'm just saying, I mean, if this is going to be this way, then I know for sure that, I'm going to be paying attention at this time frame for this particular pair. But again, I'm still gonna be here anyway. I'm gonna be here between 8 and 10 anyway. I like to be here anyway till 11 because I'm always thinking, okay, 11 o'clock will be done trading for real. But sometimes, like I said, these last few weeks, the New York session has like really, it's been really taking its time. Right? I don't understand that. I'm like, why y'all moving like all this? Why y'all moving so damn slow? I don't understand it. Okay. So, this one again, technically it did close above the open. So again, I'm still looking for prices to continue to rise for tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and drop my, end of day consolidation here. Right. That's the last swing high. And then we have the low for the session. It's a little janky, but it's okay. All right. Don't be all up in my stuff about my lines being crooked. I don't know why. And this is MT5, right? This is MT5. It's supposed to be nice and smooth, and for the most part it is. But come on, they tripping, right? So yeah, I'm going to wait for prices to do what it's going to do, because right now all this magic happened within the open range of Monday. And for me to be excited, super excited about this, it needs to break out of the open range. Okay. We need to do something like that, right? Otherwise we're getting some resistance up here. Breakouts are failing, and now I need to change my mind. Okay. That's why. So we want to break out of this range. That's what we'd love for this thing to do. But again, if it doesn't do that, oh well, we'll roll with the punches. We'll roll with the punches. What other pair do we want to look at? Because that was 2 pairs already, and that was pretty quick, right? Because I'm not trying to be here for a long time, but for a good time, right? We want to get this thing in here, and we want to kind of roll with figuring out what we're going to do tomorrow. All right, so we're looking at S&P. This is the S&P. And this one was also range bound today. I was expecting some kind of, I don't know. Today I was more like saying in my chat, I posted in the group, usually when you have these big drops like this, I don't really expect much to happen, right? It's usually a ranging day or it's a choppy day. However, we did get a low of the day trade for New York. So for those of you who took that trade, that reversal, that's amazing. I didn't take it, but because I was already thinking this thing was not going to be worth it. So that moved at, that's 9 o'clock right there. So yeah, I mean, of course we expect this one to move with the bell. Let me drop down to M15, right? As you can see, it was a beautiful low of session trade for New York. All right. It's a little choppy, but it still worked out. Okay. It still worked out. And this one, of course, we can always expect the 9 o'clock, 9:30 for it to move. Okay. For whatever the reason, I think it moved a little earlier on Friday when we had this huge drop. Let's see. Oh, no, that was right at 9:30. All right. I remember I was watching DJ, because US 30 DJ was also doing the same thing. When I was in the market, I was like, this thing is awfully, it's already, presenting the 3-day reversal. It's already moving. It was already moving around 8 o'clock. And I'm like, sometimes you can get, the break and then it pulls back and then you get the actual trend trade. And so I was wondering, okay, is this thing going to pull back? Cause I hate sitting in that stuff sometimes. I mean, of course I'll sit in it, but sometimes it's like, especially when you're like, this is the day, this is the trade. And you're going for your reversal and you're looking for it to drop. And you're like, I'm like second guessing myself. And I second guessed myself. When I got back to the chart, I was like, man, I'm getting in this damn thing, because there's no way that this thing is going to be pulling back at any significance, right? And I did on Friday. I ended up getting in on the US 30 trade early, and it looked just like this. I don't have it showing on here, but it's not on this particular account, but I was looking at it and I went ahead and got in early, way before the bell, and I just wrote it out. And you're always good to write it out till the previous day, the high and low marker. So you always want to make sure that you write it out until then, because at least it pushed through the previous day's low or high, and that's what you want to do, right? That's always your first goal, always. All right. So, I know it's a whole lot in a little bit of time there, but I definitely wanted to make sure that I dropped a video in this week. You know, like I said, it's been a little rough, but I'm here and I'm making it, and wanted to make sure I shared some value. This is EuroCAD. EuroCAD also to me is looking like we're going long. Let me go to H4 real quick. H4 doesn't say anything to me yet, other than we're going sideways a little bit because we're still in the range right there, but it could definitely still be short because we don't really have. Also, thing I like to use is the market alert indicator. This thing here is still showing me that we're still short. All we did was get a support here with this indicator to let us know that we're still short. So for right now, I mean, we're in 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of drop with this particular pair. This is also one of my favorite pairs next to the next to UC. I love EC. I think it moves very well when it wants to. You know what I mean? Sometimes a little bit cleaner to read than the dollar CAD. So it's also definitely one of my favorites. So I don't know, guys, where we're at right now, but according to how we started off this week, we are just range bound. It almost closes the same as the open. I mean, it almost looks like we could be going long tomorrow, just based off of what I'm seeing here on what happened on Friday. And we did get a lower high here. You know, that was more Thursday. And then we had a little rise on Friday. We came back down to the low again. So another opportunity for a low. You know what I've noticed, Mondays, you're just going to get high. You're going to get low of the day and high of day session trades in New York. That's what I've noticed. So you want to keep your eyes peeled for that. You might not get, this is more of a scalping move. It's not any big, significant move oftentimes, but you're going to be able to trade this thing, and you just have to, and they're the easy trades. You just have to wait. So let's see, when did it hit the low? Wow. At 9:15. Okay. Let me drop down to M5. M5 is always nice and clear for me. Oh, wow. Look at that beautiful trade. Right. Beautiful. Right. And so usually you could wait, right, for prices to go high and then pull back and then enter again. That's always an opportunity, because usually after it does the high here, then I feel like, okay, and it did the 3 pushes down. Oftentimes they say to wait for the 3 pushes back up and then back down and then take the trade. That's usually what you want to do, right? But if you did get in early at the 9:15, then that's fine. Then you can take a second entry when it completes the pullback. Okay, so let me just say that one more time. So we had the higher high here. That's usually clue number 1. You want to wait for that to drop 3 levels, right? And then you want it to push back up again, give you another high, okay? And then once that high is done, you got your 3 pushes up, and then it gives you another 3 levels of drop. Then this is the entry that you want right here. And then it's usually after that engulfment, and then that's the trade right here. Okay. And quite interesting for that's almost 11. It's like 10:50. Like, who's waiting for that? You know what I mean? Who's waiting for that trade? That's why I'm like, boy, they are really just, oh my gosh. So you're really out here almost the entire session to get this trade. I mean, I don't know. But like I said, I'm here anyway, but most people, I don't know if they are. I really don't know, right? But if you're there, if you're there for this trade, then you got it, right? That's a decent 30 some odd pip trade right there if you're going to wait for all that. Like I said, you could have got in early. I know it wasn't, it's early, right? I know. Okay. If you wait for that engulfment, then boom, you could have taken this trade. About 20 some odd pips. That's not bad, right? But then just know that there's always that possibility for this thing to pull back. And then that's the trade that you always want once it does the final pullback. Okay. Whew, that's a lot. All right, guys. That's a lot of trades. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I mean, I'm always open to hear what you guys have to say. I'm really trying to adapt this whole strategy with Stacy Burke, and kind of mixing it with BTMM and what I know with that. And I'm really enjoying it. That's all I have to say. I'm really enjoying it. I've, posting these charts in my locals, and they're there. I'm going to be creating just a template folder so that you can go back and look at it. And again, the most important thing is, for you to mark your levels and be available at the time that the trades are moving, and just make note of it, right? And that's really it, right? Well, it's not it. I'm lying. That is not it. There's an art to this thing, right? And if you stick around long enough and you don't quit, right, then you're going to get it, right? You're going to get it. Because it was, like I said, I'm still learning the Burke methodology. It did take me a while to wrap my mind around it, because I was always like saying, oh, I don't want to change my strategy. But like I said, it's so similar to BTMM that I was willing to just go ahead and let loose and just learn, right? Because you know what? The thing about this thing is you have to be a student forever. You can't just be closed-minded and not want to learn new things, because they can always improve your trading. And I think that it has, right? It has most definitely improved the trading. So with that, guys, I appreciate you all hanging out with me, and we will see you in the next video. Ciao for now.